All right, everybody. Welcome to the beginning of my melanoma world. I'm going to talk about how it started, the ABCDE rule, what my little baby mole looked like, and how I got to the very beginnings of my story. So let's rewind back to 2005. In 2005, I just got in a house with my fiance. We had a 2-year-old little girl. We were in the process of buying a house, in the process of planning a wedding. I mean, we were really busy in 2005. I got married September of 05 in Maui. It was an amazing wedding on the beach. We had a great time. My daughter was a flower girl. I mean, it was just perfect. When I got the wedding photos back, I did this pose where my arm was kind of, up, and that shined on, focused really for me, was that mole. The mole that I was just like, wait, what? What is this thing? And I hated the photos because of it. I actually still to this day look at it and despise that little thing. So going through the year of 2005, I had more and more people say, hey, there's something on your arm, or hey, wipe your arm off, you got chocolate on it. Like, it just became a constant in your face, people noticing, me noticing. I started to get a little self-conscious about it. I would put a Band-Aid over it when I'd go to work because people would just notice it and say something all the time, and I got tired of it. And towards the end of 05, it started to itch a bunch. And then when I would scratch it, it would bleed. And it was elevated up off my skin. So it looked kind of, if you got close up to it, it looked like a little bubble on my arm. And I just hated the thing. I was like, okay, my parents were talking to me about it, saying that I should get it looked at, and start talking about like, hey, this could be more than just a little spot to get removed. And so I finally made an appointment with a dermatologist, and I went in. I brought my husband, my daughter. We just thought this was going to be like, okay, they're going to shave it off and be done. But I went into the actual surgery room for the very first appointment. So I was like, okay, this is weird. Sat in the chair, and he was like, okay, my name's Dr. Dermatology, we're gonna call him. And he went over skin cancer, what it was, what melanoma was, and looked at the location and was like, okay, we're moving this right now. And I was like, wait, what? We're doing this now? My kid's in the room, my husband's here, like, okay. So I took a little razor and just kind of started scooping and scooping and scooping and scooping and scooping. And I just felt like it was never gonna end, and I was gonna have this gigantic deep hole in my arm. And once he was done, he said, okay, I'm gonna send this off for results. I just want you to know, again, what skin cancer is. Here's a pamphlet. Call me if you have any questions. You should hear back from me in 6 to 10 days. I was like, okay, well, here's what to do. Here's how to clean it. Make sure it doesn't get infected. Go about your way. I was like, okay. So I did just that. And a week went by, 2 weeks went by, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I finally get a call from Dr. Dermatology, and he says, hello, just want to let you know your results are in. I sent it off for a second opinion in New York. That's what took so long. I'm thinking a second opinion. Oh my God, what is happening? And I was with my dad at the time when I got the call, and they just said, okay, I want you to let you know that this is melanoma. It is stage 2A. You are going to need to come in for regular skin checks. We need to do a sentinel lymph node surgery, and we need to probably get this done soon. I'm going to refer you to a surgeon. Any questions, please let me know. Blah, 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 blah is all I heard after that. I hung up the phone and I just started bawling. I told my dad. My dad's like, it's gonna be okay, and I'm crying, and I hear his heartbeat just pounding, and I'm like, okay, I'm not okay. My dad is so strong, and I'm just not okay. I know it. Obviously told my husband, and I did a lot of research from there. I definitely did the Dr. Google search, and please don't do that, you guys. Do not depend on Google for your information. There's outdated information. There's information of people's personal stages and what they went through, which is not you, which, yes, you are here probably trying to get information. I don't know everything. I am just telling you what I went through. And so when you're in the beginning of being diagnosed, you need the real raw facts. Me telling you this story now is probably, you've probably been diagnosed and you just want to relate and have someone make you feel like you're not alone, which is, you know, why I started this whole thing. So definitely depend on the facts. You need to go to skincancer.org, aim at melanoma, Melanoma Research Alliance. You need to go to the people who know what they're talking about. And use me for a source of connection and community. I feel like that was the best route I wish I would have done at the time, but there was no social media. I mean, my God, MySpace was just starting, so wow, it's so weird to think about MySpace. So anyway, let's just go back to before I was babbling on, the ABCDE rule. If you don't know what that is and you want to know more about it, I have a ton of stuff on Instagram about it. And the link to my Instagram is on my page. But let's just briefly go over it. A symmetry for A, B for border, C for color, D for diameter, E for evolution. Asymmetry is pretty basic. You cut it in half and fold it up. If the two halves match up perfectly, you probably don't have anything to worry about. Again, not a doctor. Please do not use me as your 100% judgment call on you and what you're going through. Please seek out medical attention, but I am going to touch over and how it related to me. B for border, C for color. So color for me kind of had a little bit to do with my mole. It was very dark, like reddish tint color. And melanomas can be clear, light brown, dark red, black, all of the above mixed in. So color is a very big deal. If you have a spot that's like plenty of different colors, please get it checked out. Diameter, obviously, if it's bigger than a pencil eraser, it's something to worry about. It's something that needs attention. Evolution, if it is grown in size. I personally now, there's so many more cool things. There's apps that you can do to keep track of moles and take photos of, but I personally take photos of them, and so I have a reference if you're worried about a spot on your body. So what of those pertain to my mole? I would think it was the color. I would definitely think the diameter of it. It was a bit bigger than a pencil eraser. It was risen up off the skin, so that would definitely follow for me for evolution. It definitely grew. So again, I didn't know anything about skin cancer, you guys. I didn't know what I was doing. So when I got thrown into this and all of a sudden I have to have more of the mole space digged out, they wanted to do what's called a wide excision, and that is to make sure they got all of the perimeter of the mole. So they wanted to go wider, which is why this looks like an eye almost, because they had to go around and get and scoop until there wasn't any cancer cells, and that's called a wide excision, or a WLE. And then they wanted to do a sentinel lymph node biopsy, which is SLNB. And that was scheduled for me next. And So we got a doctor, they referred me over to a hospital, and we did my very first real surgery where I went under. It was terrifying. Terrifying. I was so young. I just had I just have like my life planned. I was on a path that was now being taken in a totally different direction, and cancer was in charge of it. Cancer was ruling where I was going, when I was going, and how my life would go from here. So that was terrifying. I like to be organized and in control of things, and I was spinning out of control at this point. So once I got the sentinel lymph node biopsy done, they took out about 7 or 8 lymph nodes. They had a couple of those, I think it was 3 of those came back with melanoma. So at that point, they told me, you know, we're definitely going to, sorry you guys, it's just, talking about this gets me like PTSD in a way. It just sends you back to, like, I can see myself and how I felt, what I was doing at the time. So it's really tough, and I haven't really talked about the beginning in a long time, but anyway, after the sentinel lymph node biopsy, I went home and recovered. The armpit recovery was pretty tough. It was, you know, a really hard location. I was, again, being a young mother, and I was trying to raise my daughter and take care of my new home and just live my life. So after I recovered from that, they told me that the cancer, you know, hadn't spread. So let's back up. I got that wrong. At the time, they told me the cancer hadn't spread. So I apologize. There were no lymph nodes at that time positive for melanoma. So let's retract to the first part of what I said. So they told me that my cancer hadn't spread and that I could go about my way doing the sun safety checks, which would be sun hats, sunscreen, UPF clothing, getting regular skin checks at the time every 3 months for me, because I was diagnosed with melanoma. And when you're newly diagnosed, for me it would, and I do believe now they still do this, but it's skin checks every 3 to 4 months, and I went every single time, never skipped one. I was on it. I was like really good about making sure I was doing all I could do. I wanted to be cancer free. Like, I'm like, what the hell? I have cancer? Like, I still, God, I just didn't know. And it's funny, you know, looking back, like my young little self and where I am now, like, I didn't know what I was doing, and I still feel like I don't, but that young little thing, and so many young people are getting diagnosed with melanoma because we're just not sun aware. We don't know that we have to do all these sun safety, sunscreen every day, no matter if you're going out. Like, I wear it every day. I'm sitting here in front of this window. It's a cloudy day, but I have sunscreen on because those rays are still getting me. And people don't realize that. So I didn't know that. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no freaking clue. But that mole changed my life forever. That dark, itchy, high-risen, reddish black mole, 9 millimeters in size, stupid, irritating piece of crap little mole, wrecked my life. It just wrecked my life. Here I am looking back. That was 2005, 2006. It's 2021, you guys. Like, how am I here being able to tell you this story, I still don't understand. But that mole was a good thing in a way, because I learned a lot, I changed a lot, I became a stronger, better person. And I hate the fact that cancer had to be the one to make me be the person I am today, but it did. You know, it really gave me and appreciated life more. It gave me hope and courage and strength, and made me a better mom, more patient, more open, so many great things. But that mole also did a lot of damage, and I have a lot of self-care that I'm doing currently. Losing a lot of people around me. It's just, melanoma is awful. But anyone who is newly diagnosed, please just seek attention and information from websites that know what they're doing. Do not use Google. Do not go down that dark rabbit hole of statistics that are old and ancient and shit. I broke the statistic rule a long time ago, so don't depend on those. Don't be one. Don't act like you're one. You're not one. You are and can be bigger than that. Don't ignore any signs of melanoma. Do not, gosh, I can't tell you this enough. Do not ignore anything on your body that's irregular, itchy, driving you nuts, looks funny, bigger than a pencil, any spot on your body. Get a second opinion, third, fourth, until you feel comfortable. Be your own advocate. Speak up. Be outgoing. Fight for yourself. Be bigger than this cancer. Don't ever back down to it. And stay diligent with your body. Stay shady. Wear sunscreen. Wear UPF clothing. Teach other people. Be open about your story. Inspire someone. Give them hope. Save a life. You can do all those things. You can be that person. I hope I'm being that person for somebody. I know I am. I've been told that. And that feels like an honor, but it feels, and I hope I'm doing right by it. So anyways, enough about all that. Please just take care of your body. Your skin is the largest organ on your body, and just because you're older doesn't mean you stop wearing sunscreen. You've done it since you were an infant and your mom put it on you. Don't stop doing it. It'll save wrinkles, save you in money and Botox. It'll protect your skin and take care of it. See a dermatologist today. Don't hesitate for anything. Any signs, don't blame it on something else, because if you think there's something wrong, you're probably accurate. And I felt that. I felt like there was something wrong, and I knew that by the itching and the bleeding. And I just hope that you can catch it early. You don't want to go down this shithole. Trust me. So anyway, I've talked way too long. Any questions you have, please ask me in comments below. You can follow me on Instagram, message me there as well. And stay shady, everyone.